All right, so this week, Fresno State travels to Fort Collins to face the Colorado State Rams, a lowly football team right now that on paper the Bulldogs should beat. It is tailor-made for them to get back on track running the football. They are last in the Mountain West in rush defense, giving up almost 200 yards per game. They seem to have a lot of injuries. They benched a starting quarterback, the guy who went with them to Mountain West Media Days. What was his name? Let me think. Yeah, Braden Fowler Necrosi. That's right. And they put another guy named Jason Brusso or something like that in. And it won't be like last week against Nevada. He started against San Diego State, so the Bulldogs have some tape on him. On paper, this should be a walk over for Fresno State. But here's the thing. Historically, these are the type of games where Fresno State has a lot of trouble. They do. A short week, travel to a place like Colorado State against a team that they should beat when they have momentum. Yes, historically, this is trouble. All right? Lots of trouble. And a fun fact, Fresno State has not won at Colorado State since 2012. Granted, they haven't been there in over a decade. Last time they went to Colorado State was 2016, and what was arguably the worst performed game I've ever seen from a Fresno State football team. So, the history between these two programs and Fresno State going to Fort Collins is not particularly good. It really isn't. And I predicted this one to be a loss in the preseason, my preseason predictions. And I know what the records are, but I really haven't changed my line of thinking. I mean, Colorado State is going to, load the box. That's what they're going to do. They're going to try and match what... I mean, if the Bulldogs are going to run the football, as I said earlier, this is a team they have to do it. And we will find out in the first quarter what type of game this is. If they just roll over for a caution as a dead man walking, Fresno State will run away with this one. But if there's fight, and the Bulldogs don't put away the Rams in the first quarter and jump on them like 14-0 or something like that, this one could be repeated last week. All right? And be a one-score game again if you don't put them away. As I said, we'll find out what type of game this is early on. If this is a one-score game going into the fourth, oh boy. This is not an offense that will put people away. We need to remember this about Fresno State. We don't put people away with this type of offense. So regardless of how this game goes, we can't be frustrated by it not being a blowout very early on. If it doesn't turn into one. Right? And the other big news this week was local star Clovis High School quarterback Deagan Rose decommitting from Oregon State and committing to the Bulldogs. I know a lot of people are really excited about that. I would be too, except if the transfer portal NIL exists. If this is like in 2018 when Jalen Cropper committed to Fresno State, I'd be over the moon. I mean, on paper, Rose has a long list of teams who wanted him. Among them were Arkansas, Auburn, Cal, Oregon, Virginia Tech, Boise, San Diego, and so forth. But there's nothing that won't stop him from going there because of because of the transfer portal is right now. If he has a good year at Fresno State, unless he wants to play in front of friends and family in his hometown, which is something that NIL and transfer portal cannot buy. But we'll see how it goes. This is a good move for the staff. Obviously, they kept on him. I think to me this says what I've been saying all along, that the move of the pack is going to help Fresno State get a better quality of player than what they would have gotten in the Mountain West. But, that's just part of the equation for a successful football team. Now, we will find out in the future what it is. Obviously, Warner is done this season. I don't think the staff is likely to start a freshman quarterback. A true freshman quarterback, but we will see. But overall, yes, this is good for the staff. I'll talk more about the recruiting class when I get started, signed later. But yes, on paper, ignoring the transfer portal NIL, this is big. A lot of guys like Harold Duvall, signing with Fresno State and Logan Stute, it's obvious that the younger crop of players grow up wanting to be Bulldogs. And that's the kind of environment you want. You have it in the Midwest, you have it in the South, should be a fate in Fresno, where no matter where you grow up in the Central Valley, you dream of wanting to be a Fresno State Bulldog, and that's a good sign. So, I'll talk about the Colorado State game when it's over. Hopefully we win. Go Dogs.